What's going on, everybody? Drake here. Now, this video, I'm going to break down a way to use Flapple VMAX. Yes, a lot of people think that Flapple VMAX is the worst of all the VMAXs, and while it may be, I have found a way to use it pretty well. Now, basically what I'm doing, obviously there is the Cheryl and Togekiss VMAX here, that little deck list that obviously a lot of people like to run. And kind of what I'm doing here, I kind of just I mix Flapple in with it, and it makes it very, very good. Because obviously you have to be able to always heal up Flapple, because if he takes any damage, he's obviously going to lose damage, so he can't do 250. And clearly, if you can lay 250 with the Flapple's good. Now, just taking a look here, we obviously use Togekiss VMAX because of max glide, 120. But the main point of that is I can search my deck for up to 2 cards, so I can obviously always guarantee I have Cheryl in my hand. Now, obviously with Flapple here, we have G-Max rolling, which is 250. And then the only other move here that really kind of will come into handy at some point, basically if I have to stall, is Sour Spit. And Sour Spit does do 20 damage, obviously doesn't really mean anything, but it makes defending Pokemon's attacks cost 2 more. Basically, it'll force them to move the Pokemon, move back in, waste switches, stuff like that, obviously. Or if they don't have anything in their hand, it'll obviously just make them pass the turn back to you. Now, taking a look here, we do have 2 Bronzongs, basically, so we can transfer those metal energies around. I'll show you, obviously, in a second what energies we use. Then we do use 1 Bronzong that has heat proof, mainly because if we play a fire deck, while Togekiss does not have weakness to it, the Zacian does that we carry the deck, as well as our Flapples. So we obviously want to have one of these just in case we need to stall, or obviously we can confuse our opponent's Pokemon. I feel like this card does come in handy still against fire decks. Now, like I stated, we do have a Zacian, mainly just for Intrepid Sword. In case our hand is dead, we can go ahead and get more cards into play, maybe even attach some energies, obviously, to accelerate a little bit. But then we do still have that option of Brave Blade for 230. But our main big attacker is Flapple with a 250, and then we still have the Togekiss, obviously, to search for our cards and still do 120 damage. Now, taking a look at the trainers here, we do have 4 Evolution Incenses, mainly because we have a lot of Pokemon here that we need to evolve. We got the Flapple, the Togekiss, and then the Bronzong. So we do carry 4 Evolution Incenses in this deck. And then we do have 4 Metal Saucers, obviously to get metal energy back into play when we need it. And then we do have 2 Pal Pads, mainly just to bring Cheryl back. I like to use 2 Pal Pads because I don't have like a Munchlax or anything like the Snorlax decks to bring my cards back in. I don't have a Mewtwo to bring back cards, so we do use 2 Pal Pads due to that. And then just general with the 4 Quick Balls, obviously. 2 switches. It's just mainly to flip back from the Flapple back to the Togekiss. Obviously, you'll see that in some of the gameplay that I show. And then we do use 1 Chaotic Swell. Obviously, like if we're playing fire, we want to throw that out there to kind of mess up the Giant Hearth a little bit. Maybe if we get it right away, we throw it out there, obviously, to just force our opponent to waste a turn where they can't lay down fire energy. Because the only really troubling decks that I face with this deck list is fire. That's mainly just because Flapple is weak to it. And Togekiss Togekiss is good, but it takes a little bit long to get where I need to go with Togekiss with damage-wise because they only do 120. But obviously we can still get there, and I just have other options as well, obviously, to kind of slow fire decks down. Now, we do have 2 Boss's Orders, obviously, so we can get, opponents' Pokemon where we need them, obviously put them into play, knock them out, whatever we need to do. And then, like I stated, the Cheryls, we got 4 of them. We got 4 Marnies, and then 2 Professor Researches. Now, we do carry 2 Struggle Gloves. Main reason for Struggle Gloves is in case I obviously play a fire deck, I can throw this on Flapple, and we're going to 1 KO any take team Charizards, obviously because we'll do 280 damage, so they're out of here. Now, taking a look at the energies, we do have 3 Auroras. I used to have 4, but I feel like 3 is perfectly fine, especially with the Togekiss, so we don't necessarily need 4 in the deck list anymore. Obviously, the Aurora energies will also work for Zacian, and they obviously will also work for the colorless for Togekiss. And then we have 2 Capture Energies just to help get Pokemon into play, and then 1 Weakness Guard. It's just in case the Struggle Gloves don't work or anything. I just want to have 1 in the deck, obviously to throw on my Flapple in case we do play a fire deck, or even on the Togekiss if we do get matched up versus a electric deck. Now, we do have 6 Metal Energy, obviously to try to attach with Intrepid Sword. We can use that with Metal Saucer, and you'll notice here, obviously, there's only one leaf requirement for Flapple. So obviously with the Bronzongs, we can go ahead and move all this energy around. Aurora counts as Metal Energy as well, so that's what allows us to obviously be able to use the Cheryl. So yeah, as you can see here, this is basically the best way I could find to play Flapple, and it makes it kind of usable, to be honest. But yeah, let's get into action. Getting into game number 1 here. Now let's go ahead and see what we face. With the Togekiss deck, I do prefer to go first, just because I have a lot of Pokemon that I need to evolve. If we do go turn 2, that does leave us the option for getting Bronzong right away. So we did go ahead and get a Togekiss here, get a Flapple V as well. Obviously going to wait to see what my opponent's playing before I just lay a Flapple out there. Obviously, because if he's going second, he has a fire deck, you could just welder, kill my Togekiss, then he wins next turn because Flapple's obviously going to die. But I do face a Dragapult Urshifu deck here. Now, what I have to worry about is bench damage. Now, with the Dragapult V, he can lay damage on your bench no matter what, even with Mew. Pretty much the only thing that I've seen that kind of stops it is Metal Goggles, but obviously we don't have Metal Goggles in this deck. And then at least we can negate the Urshifu, on the bench. So, knowing that they're not playing fire, I go ahead and throw my Togekiss out there right away. Or sorry, my Flapple out there right away. We burn a 2 actually Metal Saucers. Now, I do believe I do bring out the Bronzor, and then we are going to discard the Cheryl here and bring out, I would assume, the Zacian, just to get some extra cards with Intrepid Sword. Now, obviously, there's potential that we can get energy attached to him. Now, we only have 4 Metal Energies left, obviously, after burning 2. But we did go ahead and get one. Unfortunately, we got stuck with Pal Pad and Cheryl, so we didn't really get a great Intrepid Sword. We don't have a way to just get our hand larger and obviously do really much in my next turn here. So yeah, looking here with the Dragapult and Urshifu, he's going to go ahead and use Octillery to get a Rapid Strike item. He grabs Rapid Strike Urshifu, and I mean at this point we're a little bit nervous just because I mean he can go ahead and lay a lot of damage on my Togekiss. Luckily with Togekiss, he does have a resistance with fighting for 30, so he's only going to do 120 damage. That's definitely nice, so he can't just 2-shot me. Now, unfortunately, we top deck another Cheryl, so we just have to go ahead and Intrepid Sword here. But the Intrepid Sword's pretty good. We go ahead and get a Evolution Incense, which obviously we could just burn the Cheryl if we need to. There's a couple different things we could do. Obviously, if we get some sort of energy off the top deck here, we can definitely let me just attach and then search for a energy and stuff like that just to get the hand moving. But he Marnie anyways, so I mean, not much we can do there. I actually felt like the Marnie helped us a lot because you can see I have the Aurora Energy. We can definitely get that attached and then go ahead and Professor Research, hoping to get a Bronzong into play. Now, big issue here is with the Dragapult. If they do get the Dragapult active and are able to lay the 2 energy move on me, they're going to kill my Bronzor, which obviously could put me into a little bit of a rough spot. But you can see he Phantom Waves here, which is slightly annoying, but we do have Aurora Energy in hand. The Aurora Energy is nice, obviously, to have here, just because I mean, we don't need it for Togekiss, but it's beneficial for Zacian and Flapple. In just an event, we need to try to lay any damage with them. But he's going to G-Max Rapid Flow. I feel like, personally, he should have taken out the Togekiss, but he probably didn't because there's no energy attached. So he went ahead and laid 120 damage to Zacian. Did kill my Bronzor, so that is unfortunate. But we are going to go ahead and get Togekiss into play, so that is huge. Obviously cannot get one-shot KO'd here. And then we just go ahead and attach the Aurora, get rid of the Switch, and then research for a new hand. So this is pretty decent. I do go ahead and, because I see I have a Cheryl, so I just go ahead and lay down the Flapple VMAX, just in case he does another G-Max Rapid Flow. Because unfortunately we don't have Mew, so we could get pretty easily attacked. But I'm kind of banking here that he's not able to basically do a few things here. Can't switch out, doesn't have a energy and a Dragapult VMAX. He does have double Phantom Waves, so that's a little bit tricky. But obviously we'll see if we can make this through. So he's going to go ahead and search for Rapid Strike item, for Karina's Focus. I think he's trying to get a switch or something, or even trying to get that VMAX Dragapult. It is basically, the game is right here. If he's able to knock out this Bronzor, then it's over. I mean, there isn't much else we can do at that point. So we do go ahead and bring out the Flapple because we have a switch in hand and we have Cheryl's in our hand. Well, so he goes ahead and boss his orders. We're not too worried that he goes ahead and takes the Zacian here. Now, we are down 6 prizes to 3. Obviously, at this point, a little bit nerve-wracking because we are down 3 prizes. But, I mean, in all honesty, we're not too worried because we do have Cheryl. We do have a Bronzor here. And now I decide actually to Marnie because I want to be able to attack and I can just search for a Cheryl anyways. And he cannot one-hit KO me. So we did go ahead and hit the Metal Saucer. So that's big. And we do have an Aurora Energy as well that we can attach. So we go ahead and throw the Swell out there. I mean, we don't really need anything at this point. We can just attack, obviously, with the 2 energy. So that's very good because he can't knock me out. I mean, there's nothing he can do. Cannot knock me out. We do have another Bronzor here for next turn, possibly. But we're just going to max glide. And then, obviously, we're going to search for a Cheryl. Just think about it now. I would go probably Cheryl, Mew, or Cheryl Marnie. I'm not too worried about the Mew at this point, though, just because he has no energy on the Urshifu. Yeah, we grab Cheryl and a Marnie. So he goes ahead and lays 40 damage, which at that point, if he does happen to be able to move Urshifu in the X spot with energy, he could kill me. But luckily, he does not have the cards in his hand. Now, he just go ahead and Crobat. The Crobat gets me a little bit nervous, but he did already attach an energy to the Dragapult on the bench. Alright, so just waiting here. Waiting and waiting. So he's going to go ahead and grab something with Octillery. Maybe he's just checking his deck. I'm not entirely certain what he's doing, but he's definitely looking. He didn't grab anything. I think he was just checking the deck to see what cards he has. He goes ahead and hits a Max Phantom, which is obviously going to allow me to go ahead and Cheryl next turn. I mean, I also obviously have 290 left. We are down to 2 prizes. Wasn't able to get the other Bronzor set up, but it's not the end of the world, to be honest. As long as he can't knock out both Bronzongs, I think we should wait here on the Mew. We're going to attach. And then I should switch out, to be honest. I think I switch out here. I don't recall 100% because we can knock out this Dragapult with the Flapple, with good old Flap. So we did heal 290 damage. We are going to retreat. And then Flapple is going to put us down only 1 prize. That GMAX rolling is so good, especially if you can get, obviously, your Flapple with complete no damage counters on them, because obviously the 250 is ridiculous. So we did get a boss, a Dedenne, and energy. So I mean, it's pretty good prize. And from here, we're obviously just going to have to try to swap out and attack back with the Togekiss. So we're just waiting for him to decide what to do here. Clearly, I mean, he doesn't have tons of options. He can obviously try to get an Urshifu ready to go, try to hit some bench damage, but we still have the Mew in hand. I mean, he could try to knock out the Bronzor in 1 shot. I mean, that would probably be the best bet in my opinion, but he's still 2 turns away from being able to do that anyways. So he lays 50 on the Togekiss. We get the energy that we need. Now from here, I go ahead and Dedenne. Let's get rid of the hand. Now, not too happy with what I got, but it's okay. I mean, I think we just burn the energy here, retreat. We have an Aurora Energy in hand. And then we go ahead and move the 2 onto the Togekiss, lay 120 damage. And then I should grab a Cheryl for sure. And then I think we could have the game, right? Like, I'm pretty sure it might be game here. As long as he doesn't find a way to, like, boss me. I mean, he can't knock me out with the Dragapult at all, but if he does get his Urshifu into the active, he could knock out my Flapple for the win with a boss. But see what happens. I mean, still another turn left. If not, we win. Obviously, Flapple can get healed, and he can lay that 250 damage. We do grab the Switch just in case he obviously backs him up, but he's got the Flapple V here. Let's see what he does. He's got a pretty big hand, so there's a good chance he could have what he needs to boss, get the Urshifu into the active, beat me. So he's searching with Octillery. Let's see what he finds. This time he grabs a Rapid Strike Energy. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that on the Urshifu. Fingers crossed, everybody, that he does not have a boss. Obviously, if he has a boss, it's a more unlikely game because he can boss my either my Dedenne or my Flapple and win. He does not have a boss, so we should be good to go here. Obviously, what we're going to do is move the energy onto Bronzong. We're going to Cheryl, and then from there, we're just going to retreat into Flapple. We are going to knock out this Dragapult for the dub. So you can see here, obviously we're just taking our turn, or sorry, taking our time. We're moving him over. We're going to hit him with the Cheryl, and then we're going to just go ahead and attach Aurora Energy and move the energy back to the Flapple for the dub. So we are about to knock out one of the meta decks right now with Togekiss and Flapple VMAX. People count Flapple VMAX out, saying he is one of the worst VMAX in the game, but you can see right here, he is usable in this deck. So we went ahead and got the victory. Let's go ahead and get into game number 2. Game number 2 here, guys. Now, let's see what we face here. Like I said in the first game video, I do like to go first, but we'll obviously see how it pans out. So I did win the toss again, so obviously we're going to go first. Let's see if we can get our Togekiss down. We at least want a Togekiss down in the first turn. And then after that, it's pretty much if we can get a Zacian to extend with a Intrepid Sword, or obviously if we can get a Bronzong down. The Flapples aren't a must-have turn 1, just because we can just go ahead and lay them down in the following turns, because obviously our Togekiss is key in order to set everything up in the deck. So yeah, we did get our Togekiss down here. We are going first. Our opponent had to take a mulligan, so that's even better for us because we get another card or two here. Let's see how many mulligans he had to take, though. Only one mulligan, so we're going to draw a card. We did get a Capture Energy. Capture Energy is big because we can get 2 additional Pokemon. And what I love about the Capture Energy is with Togekiss, because, I mean, it counts towards his moves. He's a colorless Pokemon, so it's going to count no matter what. So we do go ahead and get a Zacian here. We burn the energy, obviously, for Metal Saucer. We grab ourselves a Bronzor, our buddy here, obviously, so we can hopefully get him evolve second turn. Now, we will go ahead and get a Togekiss VMAX second turn, pending any Marnie, or if by any chance he resets stamps. I mean, not much else we can do besides that. So yeah, let's see what goes on here. He's gonna go ahead and put the cape on. He's got the capacious bucket. Now, I do have my mouse just stuck on Flapple V right here. I do recall this from the stream. I actually ran upstairs, so just enjoy the card art for just a moment here before I run back down the stairs. He does get Snom. He Dedenne, obviously, to get a new set of hands. Looks like he's running Wailord here. I swear I'm going to be back in just a moment. This game was just a really good showing of the deck, so I want to make sure that I show the game for you. Now, he brings out the bucket. He's going to go ahead and lay that on the Wailord. Now, another thing to just keep an eye on, obviously, the discard pile, because he can attach water energy to the Wailord. So if he's able to swap them, we could actually get knocked out second turn. I do know with this deck, just lay down the Gloom-a-Tangle, wants to obviously keep that into play. So, obviously, if I can get like a Chaotic Swell out there, I want to definitely make sure I lay that down. Obviously, to prevent him just waste 2 of his Tangles. Obviously, that would be preferred. So we did go ahead and get a Saucer. That's great because we can lay one down. We did lose our Togekiss VMAX, but we'll just have to find a way to make it work. So he's having a pretty long first turn here. He grabbed a Dedenne. I'm pretty sure he already used a Dedenne, so yeah, he has to pass it on back, but he does have one for second turn. We're going to go ahead and use a Saucer. We're going to go ahead and snag that Dedenne, and then hopefully get a Marnie or a Research if we need it. Now, we did get the Bronzong and in Evolution Incense, so that is awesome. And also Chaotic Swell, so that was a very good Dedenne. We're obviously going to grab the Togekiss, lay it down, move that energy up to Togekiss, knock out his Snom, Obviously, he's got one on the bench, so it's a good chance he gets Frostmith in there. But we aren't going to Professor Research because we have two Togekiss on the bench. Two Flapple VMAX on the bench, and we do not want to get rid of those because we obviously need them for Flapple. So I'm going to go ahead and get a Flapple laid down, grab a Marnie, so I can just put them back in the deck next turn. So we obviously are up one prize so far. Everything is working out pretty well. We are getting everything set up pretty fast. We just got a energy from our prize. Now the only thing here with the Willard is he can go ahead and draw up here and get his obviously last remaining energy. Now he did go ahead, he has 5 energy right now in the discard. I feel like that's a lot, like a ton with this deck. He brings out Keldeo as well. Now with the Keldeo, I mean, I'm not seeing how he benefits from having Keldeo in this matchup, because Keldeo, in my opinion, only really is great versus Altaria or like a Decidueye deck, or obviously facing a G-Max. But nonetheless, we go ahead and put Flapple on the bench. I almost researched away my hand, which would have been bad because I would have been just stuck with Flapple. And we did draw one of our switches, so we are going to bring Togekiss back into play. Things are looking good here. I mean, I really can't complain. I'm going to go ahead and lay 120 on our guy here. I believe, I'm just thinking here, I think we should grab a Cheryl for sure. And maybe a Aurora Energy, or maybe just a VMAX. Because the VMAX are on the bottom of the deck, so I think I'm just deciding between Aurora and Cheryl, but I would do one of the two. Okay, so yeah, we grab the Cheryl and the Aurora. Because obviously, if he lays damage on the Togekiss, I can basically just go ahead and Cheryl them, and then lay 120 more on him, and then grab another Cheryl and a Flapple VMAX for the following turn. So he does use his Gloomatangle. Obviously, I mean, he's going to Ocean Waves here, but he doesn't have that Stadium in play because we had the Swell down. He's going to go ahead and lay 120 damage, and then from here, we top deck the Flapple VMAX. I'm like thinking, oh yeah, feeling good, feeling good. It's pretty much over with because we're going to knock out his Willard. He doesn't have anything set up. If I remember right, once I knock him out, he just quit. Obviously, you can see how effective this deck is. Like, obviously, you have the Togekiss to search for cards that you need, and the Flapple is usable because you can use Cheryl basically anytime you need to, because you can always make sure you get one with the Togekiss. So we're going to go ahead here. I was going to knock him out. He didn't like it, and that is game. So let me know what you guys think about this deck. Like always, please subscribe to the channel. Have a good one.